Your doorstep. Immerse yourself in a community of curious teachers and seekers dedicated to the collective growth and understanding. Each glossy edition is a portal to expand awareness, featuring the latest in metaphysical and holistic products, services, events, and books. Let our engaging articles and comprehensive practitioner directory guide you on your journey towards higher consciousness. With every issue, raise your vibration and deepen your connection to the universe, one enlightening read at a time. Subscribe today at edgemagazine.net/subscribe and embark on a transformative exploration here, there, and everywhere.
Hey, beautiful ones. Kelly Wagner, Edge Magazine with Kim Woods. We're back. Hey, Kim, what's going on?
Nothing much. Nothing's going on at all, Kelly. Like, there's nothing. We're just in this middle of this huge star energy that is like a bow and arrow, just like pushing us to the trajectory for the next decade or two. It's great. Happy Wednesday.
I saw you show up a chart and it had the little like bow. I was like, oh. Okay, guys. So this is a powerful week. We're teeing up for next week where there's some magic going on. Kim's has a 3-day event that's going to be, whoa, fantastic. Like, I don't even have words. I'm really, really excited. Like, and I cleared my calendar around so I can actually like be present. Everybody,
Good.
Time to be present.
No, good. Because have you ever been to one of my 3-day events?
I have not.
Okay, people go bananas. So here's the thing. I picked the middle of the day so that people could, start their mornings and groove. And if they had obligations around the lunchtime, people typically have some free time, right? So it's at noon Eastern time. So wherever you are. So what's going on is we're going to talk about the new era today. We're going to talk about your energy. The 3-day experience next week, which is the best week of the year astrologically, by the way, like I might know that, right? So I planned this for 6 months, right? So the reason why I'm doing this is because we actually have the opportunity to remove money blocks. So I'm looking at the new era energy. I'm looking at your energy. I'm setting you up for all of that. We're going to be going through my methodology. We're going to be opening up your mind. We're going to be going through limiting beliefs and really lifting those off. We're going to go through your heart center and like your connections and your ability to receive, because that's usually a stopping point. And then we're going to open up that beautiful like that receiving container. That's what I typically do towards the end, to absolutely help you increase from a wealth perspective, from keeping money longer, from maybe having money be able to dance with you in a different way. But I have to say, Kelly, like last week, I took the week off for my son's graduation. So yay. I was staying at the Army Navy Club, not necessarily my vibe, right? And I'm in the lobby waiting for somebody, and I channeled a new way for money to come in. It wasn't the ritual we did yesterday. It was another one. We're going to be doing some like esoteric painting with money next week. So it's going to be really cool. So here's the thing. When people have 3 days experiences, I'm setting up, I'm setting up a CTA, right? Like, I'm going to talk to you about my program or whatever, but I do not do that until the last day, and I ask your permission. So you've got 3 hours of just sheer value that I'm pouring in. We're doing ritual, we're doing activations, we're doing talk, we're doing exercises. I have a guide for you. I make that commitment because people matter and their time matters. So I know that people come into it a little bit jaded, like, oh, I'm just going to listen to replay and I'm just going to, like fast forward or whatever.
No. Like I'm going to stop you. You give so much value that is just, I mean, even if people can, and they're invited to day 1 and then day 2 and then day 3 and they're curious and they might not want to stay for a little bit of that call to action, that's okay, because you really, really are going to lay out the red carpet and build that trust. And I'm one of those people that I'm like, oh God, here we go. They're going to start pitching me. Oh, they're just starting to give me some of the good stuff. Like, oh, I'm just wanting to take notes, and oh God, now they're selling. And no, that's not your style. Like, and
No.
that's why we're partnering. Well, that's one of the reasons we're partnering. I'm here, like here, there, and everywhere. But I love how giving you are, and how And even just in our time together, I understand because there's astrologers and there's people that are in business and then there's people that know human design. But you have such a Mary Poppins carpet bag of just magical tools in your toolbox that, and you're so willing to offer and to share and say, okay, if try me on, try this on. If you like this, great. If not, here, I'm glad we had some time together. And that's,
Mhm.
I just, it was this, the first 5 minutes was not supposed to be about your next week, but
I know.
oh, fantastic. Like, right. No, but I'm really excited about it. And I really, I find in our community, and wait, like, I'm not going to just say our community, in a lot of communities, people have roadblocks for money and for finances. And, what are we not supposed to, we're not supposed to talk about money, religion, and politics. If it's one of the things that we're not supposed to talk about, let's lean in and talk about it. Right. Like, I think,
Absolutely.
yeah. So I think I invite people, get it on your calendar. There'll be more information below, but just next week, an amazing, powerful week. So not only do you have the information, not only do you have Kim, but then you also have the week to like pop it in. And like, I mean, if you're going to try it on, try it next week. Okay. So we can do our own little like segment just for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so today Kim is introducing the concept of the new energetic signature. I'm going to stop before I say anything else. Kim, what is the new energetic signature?
So we've been wearing the energies inside out for, 6,000, 10,000 years. So it's been a really long time. We have been wearing the masculine strength on the outside, that very procedural, very logical, very linear, very targeted and focused, brilliant energy. I mean, it's beautiful energy. It's just been we're wearing it on the outside, right? So this is where people will talk about putting up boundaries, protecting yourself, defending, there's kind of a competitive edge with that energy. And we've been wearing the feminine on the inside, which is that softer skill, that intuition, that reciprocity, that authenticity, the availability to nurture and to take care and to look at what's going on in the heart from a satisfaction perspective. So the words are like adoration, appreciation, gratitude, joy, satisfaction, fulfillment, ease, right? So we can just kind of think about that energy. That's where the creation, beautiful energy comes in, and it's been stifled because it's been on the inside. And so when you flip them to the way that they should be, and you wear that masculine strength on the inside, you have an unbelievably strong pivot point because you have your logic, your reasoning, your inner authority, you've got your power center. You can really solidify a great anchoring for that feminine that likes to flow. It likes to go with the cycles. It likes to be edgy. It likes to be, think about creation itself. It's really creative and it destroys. It's really expansive. There's potential there. And so the feminine has been suffocated and the masculine has been way too overused and exhausted. And if you just look at statistics, look at the statistics for entrepreneurs. 64% of them say that they're more stressed out now than they were 2 years ago. That's a huge percentage. That's 2/3. 33% of them say that they're either depressed or burnt out. I read a statistic yesterday. I was getting ready to do a press release. They were asking me questions, and I read a statistic that 39% of new businesses fail, even though we had that great reshuffle. And in 2023, we added 5.5 million new companies. That percentage is way too high. It's almost 40%. And then this was the biggest one that I read. The Small Business Association talked about 90% of businesses will fail if they're disrupting the status quo. Anybody in the intuitive space is in disrupting the status quo right now. So that's why this is why I do the work that I do, Kelly, is because I want to give the traditional business people the availability of being able to tap into their intuition and really go with their instincts and have that beautiful creation cycle so that they can be satisfied, hands down. However, on the intuitive side, I want to help people remove their blocks to money, remove the vows of poverty, get rid of like past life, sticking points that they have that they don't even know about, because valuing our intuitive gifts is the game changer, right? Like, why should a business strategist make this much money and an intuitive make that much money? It really should be the other way around.
Okay. Now I'm just going to be quiet because I'm like, I'm still kind of on the 90% of the disruptors going
I
on.
know. That's okay. That's okay. You know what? Because here's what I will tell you. The energy now has shifted. We talked about that in the first segment, right?
Yep.
We talked about all the reasons why, and people can go back to that if they want to know more about that. But for now, we're going into the energy of in and of itself. This is an energy of potential, of faith, of trusting, of belief, of that ancient wisdom, of that remembrance about what magic, intuition, spirituality, universal power, whatever term you want to use, what the availability is for that. So the good news is that disruption statistic will start to ease because everybody's going to be living on the edge.
Okay. Thank you for explaining that because I felt that happening when you explained it. Okay. Talk to us about the 6 energetic signatures.
Yeah, before I do that, I do want to paint, if we have time, I do want to paint a little bit more about what happens when the masculine's on the outside and the feminine's on the inside. And then
I
I'll go
saw
in.
like Joseph in the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, that the Technicolor Dreamcoat was, oh, that's crazy. One side was like army, like the army green with all the pockets, and it's very functional. I'm assuming that's the masculine. And then if
Yeah.
you flip it around, it's like Joseph's, and it's all the different colors. And I don't know. That's what I'm seeing when you flip it, and we just kind of go like that and flip it around.
I love that, because think about this. When we wear the masculine on the outside, I've talked a little bit. That's where the exhaustion, the stress, the lack, the burnout comes in, because
Yeah.
the energy is being held in a way that's like it's trying to be super strong, and but it's too edgy to be strong. So you have to keep feeding it, and it just can't survive. It's not an infinite flow. When you pop that on the inside, I'll get to that in a minute, because what happens to the feminine? The feminine, that's where the doubt comes in. That's where the needing validation comes in, needing constant reassurance. That's where the neediness and people pleasing comes in, because the feminine doesn't have the ability to connect because it's being blocked. So when you flip those, the masculine is like, I got you. I know exactly where we need to go. I know exactly when we need to get to focus. I am fed by the energy of the feminine. So I have this constant, like everlasting flow of reserves and energy. So I become more infinite and more sustainable. That relieves the exhaustion. The stress goes away because the feminine can absorb and release and just have this beautiful flow that is just so healing in and of itself, so that you don't have to do all these machinations for that, right? And you're not doing this constant having to feed. So that goes away, and the feminine can just beautifully connect. She then has that initial contact. She can discern whether that's authentic or not. She knows when something's in integrity. So you don't have to have those boundaries and those protections that are false, right? And the feminine is where you just know, the feminine knows. It's a huge deal.
It is a. I'm now seeing Joseph, so now I have that roading the rate. It's beautiful. Yet it feels like this.
Well, it's so interesting because you've mentioned that. I just do have to interject just a second, Kelly, because you might be feeding off my energy, because there are some clients that have talked to me about the fact that when I walk into their stars and I open up their full potential, they literally say, it's like she shows you Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat. They literally use these words and say, now, and she says, here's your coat. And you look at it and you're like, I don't know if I can put this on. And then I help you put it on, and then you wear it, and all of a sudden that's your coat. I love that.
I don't go to Joseph in the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. That's not like a go-to Kelly thing. So yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Like, rock on. Okay, what's next? You just flow. I just, like, we could go in so many different areas and directions and all these different things now.
We totally can. We totally can. So here's what I do want to talk about with the energetic signatures. I did download a quiz that's 12 questions that is based on astrology, and it gives you your energetic signature. And I did that during the week of the brand new energies that I talked about last time we were together. Mm-hmm. That end of the year 2020, it just came through. So, I think I mentioned that, like, when you're channeling, when you don't really have like any time or space, and all of a sudden you've produced something that is relatively impactful, right? So that's what this is. That's what the orientation is. And so what it's a reflection of is it's answering the question of how you know, like, and trust yourself. So if anybody's in marketing
Whoa,
and
whoa, whoa,
sales,
whoa, 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 whoa! You can't just say that really fast and then just keep zooming, right? Like, whoa, 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 whoa.
yeah, yeah,
Repeat that, because that is powerful. And then all of a sudden your cards were like, pull one. How many people actually know, like, and trust themselves? We could probably do something just on that.
I know.
Inviting people to explore the possibility of knowing, liking, and trusting themselves.
Yeah, this is what all my work is based on. This is my methodology. So it doesn't look like that, because yes, I have that trademarked and I have it registered and it's in the cards and it's in the quiz, and I talk about it, when I'm on podcasts or things like this, and I talk about, taking that marketing and sales factor of the customers needing to know, like, and trust you and turn it inside out. But Kelly, you got it without me having to say that. Like, you got the impact of, like, holy crap, that's a huge deal. Because it is a huge deal. Because think about it, when you are completely in your inner authority and you're acting in sovereignty, you are not looking for external validation. You are not second guessing yourself. You don't have FOMO. Imposter syndrome doesn't exist, right? Like, your value. I said this a lot last summer, because we needed to know this, that regardless if you have $1 in your bank account and one client, or $1 million in your bank account and, I don't know, 27,000 clients, whatever the math might be for you, you have the same value. You are the same person. You are the same magnificent being that is here on earth with your unique gifts, and you are stunning. And it doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. And when you really know yourself, and you know what your gifts are and your strengths are and your talents are, and you know what your foibles are, and you can recognize yourself and at least from a mind's eye perspective in that wholeness, and you really match that mind and that logic with intuition, that's when you're shining your brilliance, right? So that's that knowing piece. And I literally go from the throat chakra up, right? When you like yourself, that's a throat chakra down to the solar plexus. That's when you're in that heart space. That's when you can appreciate. That's when you can, have gratitude. That's when you can recognize the need for your own nurturance and self-care, and you can really own your self-confidence. Like, that's the power center for you. And when you're with yourself, it just looks like that you are doing the things that really give you joy and pleasure, right? So, but when you're connecting with others, that's when you're able to discern, is this the right person? Does this person have my best interests at heart? Is this connection going to be for my growth, or is it going to be for my support? Is this connection going to better me in some way? Is this connection a temporary one, or is it longer? Like, how do we want to collaborate? How do we want to influence this? Like, there's that beautiful, it's a heart space, right? So there's that liking, that loving, that relationship aspect. And then when you go down from the solar plexus down to the root, that's where the trust, that's your creation center. That's it. I mean, I'll tell you, that's the ball game, right? Because when you fully trust, you trust in yourself, you trust in others, and you trust in the universe. And so you feel safe, you feel like you belong, you're with your like-minded community, you're attracting your soulmate clients, your soulmate team members, your soulmate people, you're able to really go with a cycle of prosperity flow, you're able to appreciate those times when you're out and expanding and growing, and you're able to fully settle into those times when you're, nourishing and gathering yourself. And so talk about infinite resource, right? Yes. What card did you pick, my friend? Believe. That is the card that I picked for June. That's the June card, my love.
Can't make that up.
No.
Nope. And I even did an extra shuffle.
Did you?
I did.
Yeah. So those cards are based on the know, like, trust methodology.
How do we get to the point of believing, though, Kim? Like, that's like, I love everything you're saying, and I just feel this. It's that barrier. It's that trust. It's that, I don't know. I don't know if this is for me or for everybody or whatever, but it's just like,
because think about this. I was having a conversation with somebody last week, and we were talking about entrepreneurship, when you start your own business, whether it's a lifestyle business or whether it's one that you want to make world impact, right? Because there's a whole range of businesses, all different models. Everybody's unique. Everybody has their own gifts. Everything's different. Like when I download business models, they're all unique, right? No matter what that is, you being able to trust that you're not going to get every sale. Trust that every single, live you do or reel you do, or I'm still in the online space, I don't know why, or event that you have, you are not everybody's cup of tea, right?
Right.
So to be able to be confident in that, to be able to believe in that, to be able to get off of a sales call that didn't go well and know without a doubt that there are 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or 8 people waiting in the wings. That's trust.
You're showing me energetically, everyone like that, just like, it's like, I'm gonna jump. It's like, whoop. Okay, and keep going. And really, you just saw me go, okay. And the salesperson that wants every single, like, I was in sales for 25 years, and like, oh my gosh, like, right? And it's interesting. I worked for my father, and he's brilliant. But he doesn't listen, and there's a little narcissism and a little bit of crazy, right? But I go into a sales meeting with him, and because he wanted to be on stage, and he would talk, and I would just listen. So I would watch the room, and it was really, really interesting that, I mean, he would just convince people to buy. I mean, I've never seen someone sell ice to an Eskimo like my father could. Amazing. And anytime they had someone had this or that, he would just roll right over them. And I've learned so much of what people are saying by not saying anything.
Mhm.
Is, yeah. Okay. I don't know why we went on that little tangent, but that was a good one. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Trust, believe. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. So when we talk about the new energetic signature, the
Yes.
good news is that masculine and feminine, from a respect, from a union, from an appreciation of the individual energies each, they're both equal, right? Like the reality is they're both equal.
Yep.
And yet we do know that they've been out of balance. Like they've just been out of balance, right? And so we can swing to the feminine and say, oh, she's been stifled, she's been, like kept down, she's been repressed. True. But we can also go to the masculine and say, you've been overworked, you've been exhausted, you've been like waning, and so now you need to be shored up too, right? So the goal within each one of us is to be able to recognize how we measure from a masculine perspective and how we measure from a feminine perspective. It's not better or worse, it's just different.
I just keep getting that and this, but then how do we support each other?
Mm-hmm.
How can I don't know why this is coming in. In the native, and this is, I'm not native, so if I'm giving this in a white girl crazy form, I apologize. But the warrior would come back from hunting or war or whatever it may be, and come in before it came back to the tribe, and they would be bathed and cleansed and supported in that divine feminine, would honor that masculine. And I'm even seeing in birth, yes, the women have to do this, but we can't do it without the man.
Right.
Like,
right.
We need that. And it's my husband was all worried when my daughter was born that I had like a chiropractor and a doula, and I had all these people, and I just was like, I had this feeling you're going to be super, super important. And he's like, you're going to get bleachers out, and I'm just going to stand there on the wall, and no one's going to see me. And I'm like, no, my love, I know I'm going to need you, and I don't know why. I birthed my daughter in 19 minutes once we got to the airport. Oh my gosh, the hospital. But without my husband doing this thing, and it was this compression on my hips, I wouldn't have been able to get through it. I needed his, and I could tell when a little nurse was trying to do it. I needed my big, strong man to be able to help me get through that. And we did it together, and we were such a team. And I just keep saying and I don't want to say team in the sports complex, but just that unification and that synergy, mm-hmm. and that yin and that yang and that balance. And they're both important. They're both so important, and they both supporting each other is so key. Woo! Today is a fun one.
It is. And so if we think about this, we think about there's masculine and there's feminine, and then we think about, that mental knowing, and we think about that, heart-centered liking, and we think about that like really belly creation trusting.
Yeah.
This is it's like too much, right? It's like, okay, where am I? What am I doing? What am I going? This is why my work has really been about making tools for people that are accessible and easy, because I'm all about fitting tips in your back pocket. Hence
Yeah.
the Oracle deck. That Oracle deck does go through know, like, trust. It goes through both of those energies. You don't really notice it. That's the thing. You don't really notice it because it's all about growing your business or deepening in your energy or doing something personal for yourself or doing something for your business. Like it's definitely all built in, as is the quiz. So the quiz is, both of these were downloaded. Both of these were written in a week. So we know that this is beyond me. I'm the messenger, right?
Right.
I'm the receiver, the conveyor, the messenger. So I'm honored to do that. And with that knowing, liking, and trusting yourself, when you can look at it through 6 energetic signatures, and they're like avatars, and they have like almost a personality in of themselves, you're able to objectively look at something and observe it so that your mind can accept it more quickly, and then you can step into it and it's more accessible. That's why I did these. And that's why I
Rather than
do.
looking in the mirror and going, ooh, where I think that people have that resistance. But if you can kind of like watch it like a movie, or you see it laid out, and then you're like, oh, and then you see it, and then you can go, oh, I see a little of myself here, or I see a little here, and it's a comfortable way of addressing it rather than this whoop.
There's too much judgment, right? So I'm an intuitive visionary and you're a loving alchemist. So as an intuitive visionary, I have more that feminine flow. I like to dance with the cycles. I like things to move fast. I am fleet of foot. I have tons of ideas. I can create almost anything. However, I'm not grounded. That masculine energy is not really firm. I will be distracted. I will move too fast for the audience. I will not stitch back, right? It's easier for me to look at the intuitive visionary, signature and say, oh, okay. And then I can accept it more readily so that I can work on those things, or hire somebody from a team, or develop a system, or at least have a process for those areas where I may not be at my strongest.
Got it.
Yeah. And for you as a loving alchemist, it's not an opposite energy, but it's pretty close. Interestingly enough, you have so much magical power and so much magnetism that a lot of times you'll dim it down and you'll make it smaller because you've been used to doing that to make other people feel comfortable. And so for you, recognizing that you do feel better in smaller groups, and it doesn't mean you can't have a big stage and have big audience, but where do you feel better, right? When you do have a big stage or a big audience, you want to be able to put support around you in a different way that honestly, I don't need to. I'm fine. I feed off of that energy. And so when we were talking about your event that you had a month or two ago, and we were saying, okay, let's get some people around you, I was doing that because you're a loving alchemist.
You're so smart. Okay, let's talk about, we've been teeing this up. Let's talk about the 6 energetic signatures.
Yeah. So there's 6, like I said, they come in pairs. And so the ones that are more of the knowing, they know themselves, quote unquote, better than they like and trust themselves. Now, remember, this isn't like they only know themselves. It's just that happens to be the stronger suit, is that a wise strategist and an intuitive visionary. They're more prone to be able to open up their minds to things. They're more curious. They like to discover things. A wise strategist wants everything's linear. They want things to make sense. The masculine is stronger for them. They really love the intuitive visionary, as I said before, loves to go with the flow, loves to meet people, loves to have new ideas. The intuitive visionary tends not to take care of themselves. So they need to be grounded. It's the power center that really needs to be fed. The wise strategist tends not to trust themselves. So the wise strategist will tend to not say something when they know the answer. They will tend to question their skill set. They will be the ones that will take that extra workshop, which will do that extra, like read that extra book or something, because they're questioning their own expertise. So want me to just keep going?
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm just digesting it.
Yep.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah, it's right. I mean, and to know the people in your world, their different signatures, it'll just help you collaborate more and
Yeah.
easier and with flow. Oh,
100%. 100%. So an intuitive visionary and a wise strategist actually work okay together, although the wise strategist will drive the intuitive visionary a little bit crazy. An intuitive visionary actually works a little bit better with a collaborative explorer. I'm going to get to them in a minute, but they do offset each other. Collaborative explorer and the ruling warrior, they tend to connect with the world more. And so what does that look like? The ruling warrior is very much strong on the masculine, and the collaborative explorer is very strong on the feminine. The collaborative explorer will be that person that negotiates, that cooperates, that understands the hidden agendas and the motivations, and really can read the room. They know
this
their
is like a
community.
perfect politician. What a politician.
Yes, like
I don't know
yes,
why
they can,
politician or
yeah.
ambassador or someone like that's coming in for that
Yeah,
one.
because they can put on that actor's face, not to like degrade their own selves, but I will tell you, they don't know themselves as well as they could. So that's their relative weakness. So knowing themselves, and why is that a big deal? That's a big deal because they won't put them in the center. Those people tend towards collaborative explorers are your people pleasers. They're the ones that tend to overcare for others before they don't put their own oxygen mask on. So for the collaborative explorers, I often ask them like, what is your definition of a win? What would you like to get out of this? What is your motivation in this? And they look at me quizzically, and I create space for them to do that. The ruling warrior is the opposite. The ruling warrior knows exactly what they want. They're going to go get it. They're your success makers. They're your natural leaders, right? Like they're the ones that are going to stand on top and be like, they compete for them, like for their next thing. They're always looking at the next goal, the next target, the next win. They're great salespeople. However, they tend to be more transactional. They tend to forget the softer skills. They tend to forget that loyalty and having that revisiting with that client or remembering their alumni group is really important. They tend to forget to laugh and to play and to take vacation. And so for them, their masculine is so strong that they forget those softer side. I can't tell you how many ruling warriors that I have sit in front of me where I ask them how satisfied they are and they don't really know. And when I start talking to them and we start looking at 360, they often will break down into tears.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I am so successful by every definition, and yet it's empty. Yeah. So for them to trust that, them to trust the cycles, to be able to trust that there is that client, even if they don't have to go grab them right now, and that there's another one waiting in the wings. That's usually what a ruling warrior needs to work on.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
The last three.
The last two are creative superstar and loving alchemist. So the creative superstar is more feminine than the loving alchemist. The creative superstar is your influencer. It's your charmer. It's like the Pied Piper in the room. Like you're somewhat fascinated by that person. You don't really know why. They're super creative, but that superstar, they have that just kind of like swirling energy that people just want to, they gravitate to them. Creative superstars often don't recognize why people are following them. Like they just don't even know. People will come up to them and they like will be, I know you. And then the creative superstar will be like, I don't remember you. Like, I don't know you, right? Sometimes it's legit, they don't know them. And sometimes it's just because they don't remember. With a creative superstar, their big thing is that they do have the trust, like they do trust their creations. They trust the creative process. They trust the universe. They trust themselves, but they don't know themselves as well as they could, in that they need a lot of solitude. They need a lot of time to spend in their own creation. So they tend to get overwhelmed. They'll show up inconsistently. They'll be great. You love them, but, and then all of a sudden they disappear. And then they're great. And then you love, and then they disappear. So consistency is one of the things we work on with creative superstars. With loving alchemist, as you know, right? I'm speaking to one right now. Loving alchemist, it doesn't feel like the masculine is stronger, but your power is. Loving alchemist are so incredibly powerful. And what was happened to loving alchemists is that people will boomerang in and out of their lives. People come in, they'll be fascinated, and then they leave. And so there's like this really weird kind of like inconsistent connection. And so loving alchemists often don't feel like they found their community. They often don't feel like they belong. They often don't feel like they've carved a place out for them, a space out for themselves. What happens with loving alchemist is because they've been taught to diminish their power so much, they show up a little bit like, I'm going to be powerful, I'm going to not. I'm going to be powerful, I'm going to not. So your depth is unfathomable, And sometimes people do get a little bit put off by the depth because they can't quite swim that deep all the time. But they're fascinated by you. What I find with Loving Alchemists is when they're in front of people, everybody's like yes to the yes to the yes to the yes. And then when they leave, people are like, wait, what was that? What was that person's name? Like, I don't really, different than the creative superstar. It's like the Loving Alchemist has come, disperse their value, and then left. When Loving Alchemists, I don't know why I'm so businessy right now, but I am. But when Loving Alchemists are in the space, when they are with people and they make the ask and they count on that support and they allow that influence to just kind of feed and have a little bit of a softer edge, and they let their quiet power out, they create their own stage, and people are loyal forever. They don't leave. They don't have that boomerang.
That's powerful. Thank you for breaking those down for us.
Welcome.
That is so people can discover what their energetic signature is by taking your quiz, your star map to success.com is where
Absolutely.
they can go to do it, correct? I'm looking at it without my glasses and I'm like, I should have this memorized by now. But
yeah.
And words to the wise, don't be like me. Don't take the quiz twice, because
you can, and one or two things either happens, Kelly. Sometimes people take it over and over again. They get the same results all the time.
Well, okay.
Other times people take it and then they just kind of go all over the map. And the reason that you don't want to do that is that you're measuring how you make choice. You're measuring how you like to expend your energy. You're measuring like how you like to enter the world. And so the quiz is not, it's not like boom, 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 boom. It only takes like 2 or 3 minutes. However, you're going to be prioritizing things like
you kind of go like,
right? But you go with your gut instinct. And I will tell you that we capture the first time you take the quiz, and we put it somewhere else. And then if you take the quiz over and over again, we just have those as tags. And we do that because when people come to us and ask, I will go to that first one and then I read their energy, and it's always right. It's always right.
Oh my goodness. Okay, anything else for this week? And then I want to, before we wrap up, again, tee up next week, because like what can people do this week? Because I know you're all about tools and resources. What can people do this week to set the stage? Oh, I'm just seeing almost like the sand, like I don't even know what it, but just the sand. And I want to like shake it all out and get it all nice and clean. I was thinking a whiteboard, but that was too businessy. But I was like, the sand. How do people set themselves up? So we're midweek this week. Next week, the energy is coming in, and it is so okay. Break it down. Why next week astrologically is such a magical week?
Yeah.
What's happening? What's happening in the world to make next week like the week out of 2024?
So even there's going to be evidence in the sky, and I love that. Same with that 800-year star at the end of 2020. There is evidence in the sky. There's going to be 6 planets lining up that are going to be visible to the naked eye.
Holy ships across the ocean.
On the 3rd, right? Okay. It's on the 3rd. And so when I even before I knew that, I had looked at the 3rd, and I'll be honest with you, if you go to a traditional astrologer, they're going to be kind of like, yeah, it's true. But if you look at the weaving of the energy, and you look at what's happening on the earth, and you look at all the cycles across the 500-year trajectory, and you look up this at the setup of 20 years that Pluto is doing right now, Mars is doing a dance with Pluto this year. He does it every other year, but it's the first time in our lives that we've had that dance with Pluto being in Aquarius. So everything's new. So this is the new era. This is like literally, and Mars is like asking you to show up. Well, they have a beautiful configuration on the 3rd. It's just this like where it gives you the fortitude, it gives you the confidence, it gives you the energy, the tenacity, the ability. It gives you it's wealth creation. It's literally healing. You can heal in wholeness. It's just an absolutely beautiful tee up. There's a new moon that's on that Thursday. There's like 3 or 4 other things that week. It is all supportive energy. We don't often get a racked and stacked supportive energy like that. We'll often get a wrangle in the middle of that. And so what you want to do is, actually it's Jupiter. Sorry, it's Jupiter next week. Sorry, I misspoke. It's Jupiter that is really beautifully harmonizing Pluto. So that is a bigger deal. So sorry about that. So Mars is like pulling me all over the place right now. I will tell you this week, I have stated that what you do this week has the ability to create lasting success for over a decade. It just because of where the energies are. So you've got this week where you're planting all these beautiful seeds. You've got next week where you're actually being able to then beautifully, supportedly, and from a blessings and good fortune and great success way, be able to come out and be in your shining brilliance. And then this is the last like unbelievably supportive energy for about a year.
That's a different show. I know.
Yeah, that's a different show. That's a different show. It's totally fine.
I look at your face when you do that. I go, oh no. But then I'm like, oh no, like, right? It's shake it off.
Yeah, no worries.
But that's what it's beautiful about collaborating with you, is because it's like, okay, it's kind of like you're a meteorologist. The storm's coming. Get your rain gear out. Or, oh nope, it's a snowstorm. Get your shovel out. Or, oh, hold on, the sun's coming. Get some sunblock. But it's having the beautiful tools because it's coming.
Yeah.
And to be able to do with it and go, okay, this is why things are crazy, or this is why the energy is this or that. It's a gift.
Yeah. No, so and this is where, having it pre determined for you. So if you go ahead and take the quiz, what I end up doing, it's a living quiz, meaning that I'm constantly talking about the signatures. This isn't one of those where you take the quiz and somebody gives you a report. It's interesting for about 15 minutes and then you forget about it and you move on with your life. Like, I very much keep this energy active. I do the weekly forecast based on it. I give you the tips in the podcast. I do the top of the month forecast. I do new moon, full moon ritual. The money event next week is going to be based on your signatures. I do my whole program based on the signatures. I mean, everything that I do is based on the signatures. And when you work with me more closely, of course, it's based on your stars. But this is my way when I was really pressed by the universe on how I could deliver this information without having to walk into everybody's stars individually. And this is what came.
It's beautiful. Well, I highly recommend everyone take the 15 minutes. Your starmaptosuccess.com. Check out the quiz. It just helps you kind of go, oh yeah. And then when you dial in with Kim and you see and you experience her offerings at whatever level that is, you know what your signature is, and then and then I'd even encourage people, if you're in a relationship, to have your partner, your spouse, your beloved take it as well, because it just helps with communication. It gives you those aha moments of like, oh yeah, that's why. It's like, oh, okay. And you just give a little bit more space and latitude for yourself and others. Yeah.
Do you mind me asking what Steve is?
I was just about to say that he has to take it because.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to out you.
No.
Yeah.
No. He needs to take it. I already wrote a little note that.
And your children too. I mean, I have to say the whole family's taking it.
Oh gosh, yes.
I have clients that, their every team, they have people that they're thinking of hiring take it. They have literally, I literally have a handful of clients that will walk through me and say, okay, this person's a wise strategist. I know something, but this is a circumstance. What should we do?
I would say Steve's a wise strategist, but
that's what I was thinking too, but I'm not sure.
I'm thinking that's what came to me, but we're going to take it. And then my kids. Oh, and to know the kids too. That's totally helpful.
Yeah. And I also have one. Your children are old enough. I have a version that is for like 7 to 12-year-olds. I have a special version for them.
See, that would be fascinating. Like every teacher, the first day of school should hand out the quiz. Okay, everybody, we're going to do this. Okay, well, that's my homework. Next time we get on, and we are going to be back on June 12th.
Yes.
I'm going to let everyone know what Steve is.
Awesome. That's perfect. That's perfect. And in the meantime, it's your starmaptosuccess.com. Just go ahead and take the quiz. You'll get, you don't start getting all these forecasts and everything. You're going to want to look for the podcast. I'm everywhere. KimWoods.channel. KimWoods.com, Kim Woods channel. You can go everywhere. But I will say, I am going to plug the, going to the 3-day event next week. It's under Unlock Your Entrepreneurial Success. So I did put it in the private chat, so you can go ahead and put that in the comments, Kelly, and we can make sure that people sign up for that, because I can't tell you how many people during a 3-day experience with me will have a lift in their abundance. I mean, literally after the first day.
I believe it. Like we're getting some comments of people just stopping to say hi and thank you so much for helping with this energy stuff. So that's that's amazing. And then what I'll do, everybody, is I'll drop the that link to unlock your soul blueprint to success on all the social. Oh, perfect. I'm just like today. This is a good one. Oh, this is what happens when we get together. I get like like, oh my goodness. Well, it's great for the little, like when we go into social media and we break the shows into little clips, because we get the best clips. People watch it. It's crazy. Okay. So take the quiz, your star map to success. And then I'm going to put in the notes on how to register for next week. So it is the 3rd, 4th, and 5th and noon.
It's the 4th, 5th, and 6th at noon.
Thank you. 4th, 5th, and 6th. Hello, everybody. 4th, 5th, and 6th. Why was I thinking the 3rd? Because the 3rd's the big day.
The third's the big star day. But I will tell you, every single day next week is super supportive.
Are there any like little self-care things people can be doing? Like get outside, get grounded, get some fresh air, like little basic things like that? Or
I would say bask in the energies. Honestly, like be super observant about what's going on, because here's the thing what the mind will do. The mind will expect, well, I'm going to win the lottery, or I'm going to get 5 clients or whatever. And the soul doesn't work that way. The soul might give you an amazing gift next week, and you want to be really observant about it because it's the gift that you need.
Okay. I trust you. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, we're on this channel enough where people will know what's going on, and I'll let people know. I did just drop the link into the chat so people can click on that and register. Register, you guys. Be curious. Such great value. And I mean, we all have these blocks, and to some extent, right? And to be able to work on it and have the tools to be able to play with it and just do that is beautiful.
Amazing. Thank you,
Kim. I want to apologize to everybody that I was just like mush and popcorn and this and this and this today, but you know, it's crazy. And I just always love our time with Kim. KimWoods.com, partner of the Edge. She's in the new edition. She's writing a column for us. You guys, I really am trying to bring people into our ecosystem that we can trust, and that are authentic, and that have our back, and that are like-minded. Because how I look at it with the Edge is that we're supporting ourselves. And I don't want to say it's like selfishly, but it is. It's if we surround amazing people around us, not only does it help us, but it helps the community and it helps others. And I just feel like it's this huge ripple effect. And whether you're your neighbor down the street or on the East Coast, I'm just grateful. And there's so many beautiful, exciting things going on. And I just found out that our magazine is going to be ready 5 days early. So it gets to hit the streets early. So I'm super excited. Oh my gosh, you guys, be curious, but be kind to yourself and get ready for next week. What magic do you want to create? It's all around us. We just have to sit for just a couple of moments and get grounded and ask and allow and to trust.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys. Thank you for being here today in the crazy world of Kelly and Kim. Kim, we should take this on the road. Okay, KimWoods.com. Kim will be back. She's a definite, beautiful, amazing, trusted friend of the Edge. Take the quiz. Join us next week. Be kind to yourself and others.
Are you ready to dive into a world of exploration, enlightenment, and higher consciousness? The Edge Magazine media platform is your ultimate one-stop shop for all things curious. We're a vibrant community of seekers and teachers passionate about sharing our gifts and abilities to help the collective explore, develop, and understand our journey towards higher consciousness. Our website, edgemagazine.net, receives over 10,000 views each month, boasting unique articles, enlightening forecasts, podcasts, and insightful book reviews. Over 15,000 copies of The Edge magazine are printed every other month and distributed to over 400 locations across the Midwest. Experience a world of opportunities with The Edge magazine. Unleash exposure through enticing print and online